Hello, everyone, and a really warm welcome to all of you from the Europe Hotel School. It's great to have you with us today. My name is Host's Name, and I'm the Human Resources Director over at Hotel Group's Name. I've got to say, I'm really excited to be here with you. We're going to be talking about something that isn't just changing our industry, it's literally shaping the careers you're about to step into. Honestly, you couldn't have picked a more exciting time to get into hospitality. We are right in the middle of this huge transformation. And, artificial intelligence, it's not some sci-fi thing anymore. It's a real tool sitting on our desktops right now. So today, it's not just about what AI is, it's about how you are going to use it responsibly. It's about making sure that as the next generation of leaders, you always, and I mean always, put people right at the center of all this new tech. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the big challenge AI brings to the table. Then, we're going to talk about something I call the trust gap. From there, we'll get into the solutions, right? How to build a real governance framework, why transparency is non-negotiable, the importance of keeping a human in charge, and finally, what this new social contract between our teams and our tech should look like. Okay, so let's get right to it. The big question, the one that's on every leader's mind right now. We have these amazing AI tools, right? They can totally change the game for everything from hiring to performance reviews. The efficiency, it's incredible. But, and this is the big but, how do we use all that power without losing the trust and the morale of our most important asset, our people? And that question, it leads us directly to the biggest hurdle we've got to overcome. We call it the trust gap. And really, it's all about that sticky point where new technology bumps up against, well, good old-fashioned human nature. So what is this gap, really? Well, just imagine this for a second. You're an employee, and you find out that some algorithm is making decisions about your bonus, your performance, maybe even whether or not you get promoted, and there's no manager you can actually talk to about it. How would that make you feel? That is the trust gap. And believe me, when that feeling starts to spread through a team, morale doesn't just dip, it absolutely tanks. And look, let's be really clear. This is not some abstract HR theory. This connects directly to something I know you're learning right here at the Europe Hotel School, that core principle that ethics is not an optional extra. It's the foundation of everything we do as leaders, and honestly, that has never been more true than right now as we're figuring out how to deal with this powerful new technology. So, the big question is, how do we fix this? How do we bridge that gap? Well, good intentions are nice, but they're not going to cut it. We need a real plan, a solid structure that guides every single decision we make. What we need to build is a governance framework. Yeah, you can think of this framework as your professional toolkit for this new era of AI. It's really just a strong system of rules and oversight, and it has one job, and one job only, to make sure that every single time we use AI and HR, it is transparent, it is fair, and that our employees' data is totally secure, period, no exceptions. And the cornerstone of this entire framework, it's creating an AI ethics committee. And please, let's be clear, this is not just another meeting to clog up the calendar. This has to be a dedicated task force. Of course, you need HR, you need IT, you need legal there, but the most critical piece, you have to include employee advocates. You need the staff's voice in that room. And the committee's mandate has to be crystal clear. Actively watch over these AI systems and figure out what their real impact is on our people. Okay, so we've got our committee. That's a great first step. But what principles should guide them? What's their North Star? Well, the most important one, by a long shot, is transparency. We absolutely have to be able to look inside that black box and understand why the machine is recommending what it's recommending. The thing we have to avoid at all costs is what's called black box decision-making. You know what I mean. It's when an AI just spits out an answer. Hire this person, don't promote that one, and nobody, not even the IT folks, can tell you why. That's just not acceptable. The standard we have to aim for is algorithmic auditability. So, for instance, if our recruiting team is using a tool like Eightfold AI to go through resumes, they have to be able to look at the results and explain exactly why the system preferred one candidate over another. That's how you show you're being fair. That is how you build trust. And this whole idea of transparency, it's also our number one defense against a really big danger: algorithmic bias. Think about it. If you feed an AI decades of hiring data that, let's be honest, is full of our own past human biases, what do you think that AI is going to learn? It's going to learn those same biases. And worse, it might even make them stronger. It is our absolute duty to be constantly checking these systems to make sure they're not just hard-coding the mistakes of the past.
So you take all of this together, the committee, the need for transparency, the fight against bias, it all points to what I believe is the single most important, absolutely non-negotiable rule when you use AI in HR. We call it the human in the loop imperative.
And it's a really simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. You let the technology do what it's good at, right? Let it crunch the numbers, find the patterns, give us its best recommendations. But, and this is the part that matters most, a qualified, trained human being always makes that final critical decision. The machine can suggest, but a person decides. Honestly, if you only remember one thing from our time together today, please let it be this. The AI recommends, a human decides. That's it. That simple phrase is your ultimate safeguard. It's how we guarantee accountability, fairness, and ethics in everything we do. You know, when we really commit to this way of thinking, to being transparent and always keeping a human in the loop, something amazing starts to happen. We stop just reacting and managing risk. We actually start to build a new, positive relationship between our teams and our technology. We begin to forge what you might call a new social contract. And this social contract, that's the end game. That's the future we're all trying to build. It's a workplace where every single employee looks at technology and sees a tool that can help them, that empowers them, not some mysterious black box that's a threat to their job. And that kind of contract, it only works if it's built on two things: an unshakable commitment to data privacy and complete transparency in how we operate. So I want to leave you with a question to take with you as you head out and start what I know will be amazing careers. The technology is already here. The challenge is now yours. So how will you use AI, not just to be more efficient, not just to save money, but as a real tool to build and deepen the trust you have with your future teams? Thank you so much for your time today. I truly wish you all the best.